Thanks very much. A couple of things concern me. One is, I'm not sure whether there's anyone here that's under 30. I'm sure there are no children here. I'm absolutely certain that the majority of us are enthusiastic participants in an archaic and abusive institution, conscious of our participation. I actually am involved also, and come from a perspective of surviving sexual abuse as a child and then repercussive abuses as a result. Other identifications? I think we're all survivors in this institution. I'm curious, how many people really believe we're going to get a council of our church? And we're given this sense, excuse me, I don't mean to sermonise, I'd like to hear from you, Bishop Power, in relation to this. We're given the sense that ask and it will be given, if it is in my will. We have a sense that we're here in God's will. And do we pray and do we really believe we're going to get a council? I'd like for anyone and everyone to comment. Do we really believe? And do we pray? And how do we work that? Certainly buy the book, buy 2 copies and pass them on, is what I suggest.
We've got a better chance now than we had under Pope Benedict.
Hey.
I don't see the council as being an end in itself. I think it's really tried to and maybe the result of all this won't be a council, but it might be a whole new conversation and a whole new way of looking at some of these important issues. And that's the way that I see it all. I've had a couple of goes at that walk to Santiago de Compostela, and the whole notion of pilgrimage it's not just what happens when you arrive at Santiago, but rather it's the whole experience of that journey, and I think that's a really important part of what we're about here. So I think that's where we are all participants, and I think that's really important that all of us be empowered in that way, and I think that's what the petition is doing, whatever the final outcome of it might be.
One last question.
In America, we call the council. The lay people call the council, and it's canonically approved that lay people can call a council. And it was in Detroit, and many of our progressive leaders in the States were there speaking. And there were only about 2,500 people there. But we did, and it was an enormous, hopeful place to be. I don't think it's frustrating. I think it's wearisome. More than frustrating, it's wearisome. That word was given to me by Joan Chittister in an article she wrote for the National Catholic Reporter. It's wearisome, and especially as a woman in ministry for all of my life, a lay woman, married with children, I am weary. I have very little hope, except for this. If I can sign a petition, if I can do something that gives me hope, and I think a lot of people feel that way, we've got to do something. No matter what the consequences are, we have to do something and just be able to say we did it.
Just following on, this is my wife. I lived in America for the last 5 years, and you know the business between the American nuns and the Vatican that's going on. There are so many groups trying to bring new life to our church. I hope that you all link up. I hope this petition links up with that American Catholic Council of 2011 in Detroit. I mean, that was a real move. For an Australian to see that, that was quite something. They invited all the bishops. Who came? No one. Many priests incognito were there, even under excommunication by the Detroit bishop. There are so many doing, and I simply hope that you can all link up rather than work in a divided way. And the one word that I find missing from our church, which I hope this petition creates, is the lack of civility.
Yes.
The lack of dialogue is really the lack of civility. To treat someone not to be received and to be listened to is civility, and that is pre-religious. That is just simply a societal element that should be there.